Archangel Michael actually stopped me. He's like, hold up.
I can't seem to look away.
Hello everybody, welcome. I'm Emily the Fine Art Medium. I'm a psychic medium who specializes in the paranormal, an astral traveler, an artist, and one of the hosts of the Lights of Midnight podcast. So today we are going to be having a short discussion about, doorways, portals, and astral tunnels, which if you haven't watched the astral tunnels video, I'll link it probably over here, and I would recommend watching it. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, because this is important in order maybe for you to understand this video, or maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, so I want to talk about something that I learned recently, and that has to do with channeling and creating doorways. Now, I knew about the astral tunnels, but it didn't click in my head about channeling until a few days ago when I was doing my patron readings, because they have the tier where, they get readings every month. And I was doing a bunch of those in one day, in addition to just channeling in general for information. And, it was going great. Perfect. Not a problem with that. But then I had a client that came to me with a demon problem, and I wanted to help them, of course. And so, once I got to the phase where I wanted to see if I could bind some of them, Archangel Michael actually stopped me. He's like, hold up. Because I started this project before I think I did the patron reading, so for timeline's sakes, I guess. So I'm like, why aren't you letting me pass? He's like, well, first of all, because you're doing all that channeling, you created all these doorways in your office. You need to close them first. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh shit. Because some of the doorways, I know when you astral travel, you get the astral tunnels from the energetic imprints from going back and forth to different locations, right? Cool. And so same thing applies when you channel, except when you channel, sometimes you astral project, duh. And then also when you channel, there are spirits coming to you. Now, when it comes to benevolent spirits such as archangels and your spirit guides, they usually close the doors and it's not a problem. When they're just coming to you and you're not actively channeling it and they're just there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you are focusing your concentration on channeling and receiving information, right? The energetic pathway of which you receive that information also creates an energetic imprint and creates a doorway. And so you have to be really careful that when you're done, don't forget that you created those doorways in that tunnel for information to come back and forth. So you have to cleanse those and you have to close them. So for me, I did my cleansing in the office, and then I went into a meditation where I visualized, astral projecting, which then I astral projected. And for me, it's just I visualize something and then it happens and then I go. And so same thing applies for me anyway. It could be different for other people. But I would visualize my office and then I astral projected there, and then I started, closing those doorways. And pretty much I visualized, the gold light sealing them and getting rid of them. And so once I did that, I was able to go back and go to the client and see what the heck else is going on with her demonic haunting. And so Archangel Michael then let me pass. But yeah, pretty much, if you don't close those doorways and then you start helping other people, the hauntings of which they're experiencing or their attachments can come through those doors and then, bother you, right? And you don't want that to happen. And yeah, so it's very important that you understand what happens when you're channeling. And the same thing does apply to, pendulums, spirit boxes, Ouija boards, anything that sets up a line of communication with spirit or, just spirits in general, you have to make sure you close the doors or the portals, because you don't want anything bad coming in and wreaking havoc on your life, because it sucks. Trust me, I know, okay? But this isn't talked about enough in the community, right? Because really there's no manual. I mean, there's a few books here and there that are decent, but it's like they don't know everything. And I don't know everything. But I do know that I do have a good line between my spirit guides, and they want the best for me. And I mean, not everyone's going to pick up the same stuff the same way, right? And a lot of people may interpret it differently. So that's also something to take into consideration. But no one really talks about this in the books, online, nothing. And maybe they weren't meant to know. Maybe they only channel in benevolent guides. But for someone like me who, you know, goes everywhere, from client to client with all sorts of negative attachments and hauntings, I'm seeing a whole lot of different entities, all kinds of beings, human, non-human, demonic, extraterrestrial, I'm losing my voice, what the fuck, elementals, you name it. So I'm getting everything and anything, and I don't want everything and anything to come through those portals, and neither do you. So please keep this in mind. When you do a channel, whether you're working on your tarot cards, like if you're doing a live and you're doing tarot, you need to cleanse your tarot cards too. Because not only do they hold, you know, energy, they'll hold any kind of energy that, you know, you dove into that day. Not to mention, depending on how you use your tarot cards, for me, I use my cards and channel at the same time. So again, doorway created. And so you want to make sure you cleanse that. And that goes with all your tools, so your pendulums, your spirit boxes, anything you use to communicate or help you communicate with spirit needs to be cleansed, along with your space and the closing of portals and doorways. So hopefully this video helped you guys. I just want everyone to be safe and understand, you know, the potential threats and dangers, because I don't want anyone to go through horrible hauntings like I did. It sucks. It can fuck up your life, your health. So just understand how these things work before you do it. And of course, I didn't understand how this shit worked before I did it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're new and now you have the option to understand how this stuff works before you do it, I suggest doing that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am grateful for your support, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, guys, which means if we hit 1,111, I'll be doing that giveaway of the first edition Exorcist book signed by Linda Blair, which was the actress who played the little girl who was possessed in the movie. I have it right here, actually. So, guys, help me get to 1,111. It has a certificate of authenticity. So, whoop, whoop. Yeah, this could be yours if, you know, once we get to that sub goal there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.